friends, welcome back to Kev's Hobby Showcase. I'm, of course, Kevin. You may have also seen me on Tabletop Jones Productions, where John and I are the two idiots playing board games. And today, well, it's going to be the last video in the series of the Eridani Light Horse Force, the mercenary company in the game Battletech. So, like I said, it is the last video, so got a lance of vehicles. Alright, so here we got a pair of pike tanks. I believe they're considered like heavy tanks. And good old fashioned Patton tanks. No doubt named after General Patton. So anyway, of course, first I have to prime these pieces, and when after I take a break, when I prime them, I will come back and do the base coats. So just realized, of course, I've been doing the priming off camera, and today is no exception. It is actually snowing very hard outside, so I'll be leaning out my back door and and priming my minis. All right, so just so everybody knows, for those of you who do prefer, excuse me, the Battletech painting videos, I do have more coming. But it's not going to be forces, because I haven't been able to basically get what I need to build a force. Like, haven't been able to get the infantry, haven't been able to get more vehicles. So in the future, it's going to be predominantly lances for the Innisphere that I can put together, and stars for the few clan forces, clan that I could put together. So as always, because I've explained it many times, I mainly go by the Mech Warrior cards that come with the that Catalyst Labs has been including with the packaging. So I usually go by that, because at least I have basically at least a Mech Warrior with already made stats, and just that for those that I have to make up the lances, basically it's going to be very, very basic numbers for the pilot and gunnery score, and also I'm gonna have to make up a name at some point, but we'll see how that all works out. But anyway, for today, like I said, it's going to be the last video for the Eridani Light Horse. Almost said Light Force. And so like I said, I'm gonna take a break. I'm gonna prime these pieces, and when I come back, I'm gonna start doing base coats. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back, and these tanks are now primed, and the primer is dry, and I was going to get started on base coats, so let's get to it. Alright. Okay. Yeah. I think the next faction I do something for might be for a faction like House of Marek or something like that, so I could use something other than green. I'm finding out that a lot of these factions, like including the mercenary companies, a lot of them use green. So, for those of you who have seen these videos, many times, of course, that is the reason why I put labels on these on the bases of the mechs. Minis, I should say, because it's more than just mechs. I think those part of that primer wasn't dry. Look at that. Yeah, because with so many of them with the color green, it's going to get very, very difficult to distinguish one from another. So in addition to this, for Tabletop Jones Productions, John and I are getting set to play another game and record it. And the one we did recently is we did Marvel Crisis Protocol, and we're not sure what we're going to do next, because usually what we do is we have one of us brings out a game, and then the other one, and then we go back and forth. So Marvel Crisis Protocol is one of my games. And I asked John if he had anything he had in mind. He said he didn't. So if he doesn't, come up with one over the next week, we will do Battletech. I'll set up, but it's going to be Alpha Strike mode. It's not going to be classic, because right now, we're trying to keep the videos short, and doing it the classic way will take too long. Take a long time. We're trying not to have these, videos very, very long, and we're also trying to have it where we don't have to have like a marathon amount of of videos for the same game. Because Marvel Crisis Protocol, we broke it up into 3 videos, and because that game is designed to go 6 turns, and so what we did is that we broke it up into 3 videos, 2 turns, each for each video. It worked out pretty good. And I have watched the videos, so they are pretty good, if I do say so myself. So please check it out. Like, subscribe, and share, over there, as well as here. Because the best way to support us at the moment is to help, to make the YouTube channels grow. Because the more they grow, the closer we get to monetization. And a YouTube subscription is $0. So it is quite affordable. Okay. Alrighty, it's coming out pretty good. Sorry if I sound a bit off. I guess with the weather and all that and everything that's going on, I've been I've been sounding like I've been throat's been bothering me a little bit. I've been coughing. Thankfully, not right now, but I have been coughing. I usually wind up coughing off camera, which is pretty convenient timing. And I woke up today to a bit of congestion. Yay me. As you can hear it in my throat. Yeah. This probably means I'm going to have to get a throat lozenge later. And for those of you who really liked to see everything I have to offer, later today, not only would I be releasing this video, but I will also be releasing my next cooking video. I will be making London broil this time with some mashed potatoes, and I'm gonna roast up some peppers for me. I'm gonna leave it raw for my kids because they, well, you know what? This time I'll ask them. I think they prefer it raw, but I think they've been kind of warming up to the cooked ones. No pun intended there, actually. I just realized what I said. Alright. And one thing I've learned with this is when I'm doing base coats like this and I'm getting, quite a bit on, if I try to go over a spot that I've already done, I do tend to wind up wiping away the paint. So I got to be very, very careful when I do that. Okay. Alright. Almost done with the base coat. Yeah, I got a lot going on today, actually. Because I am a man of many interests. I have next to me my tablet. I have the sound off, but it is on, and on it is the Rangers game. I am a big Rangers fan of, you know, Rangers hockey. Well, I mean, listen, it's like I've learned that it's like it's either if you're a hockey fan, you either like them or you hate them. Well, I should say you either love them or you hate them, and I do love them. And for those of you who did see the my fan coverage of the Giants, I am not doing fan coverage of the Rangers. Hockey is way too long. There's too many games. And quite frankly, because most of them are on at night, and because I have to get up so damn early to go to work, a lot of times I don't make it to the end of the game. And then, of course, there's the West Coast games that I have no chance of staying up for because they just start way too late. I mean, you know, I'm not going to start watching a game at 10 o'clock at night. So, yeah, usually the West Coast games, I do wind up not seeing them. And I just, you know, I get the report about what happened, you know, the next day. Oops, and then doing it again. All right. All right, yeah. Well, this is coming out pretty good so far. And with the Eridani Light Horse, you know, pretty much the color scheme is very, very simple. Basically just said, well, it said actually olive green, but for those of you who have seen the first couple of videos, I have said it repeatedly. So I'm sorry for being repetitious, but for those of you who haven't seen it, is that I ran out of olive green, and rather than delay the videos, because I don't know when I would be able to get the Brown's Hobbies, I just decided to use another shade of green. This is, I think it's a deep green. Yeah, so, yeah. I don't know. Sometimes I just want to say, whoops, that's not a napkin. Alright, sometimes I just want to say green is green, but I think the subtleties will basically argue against me on that. Alright. Alright. We've got the base coat down. Oh, let's get back up. Alright, so we're gonna let that paint dry and let the base coat dry. We're gonna come back. Sorry, I feel like I'm in a hole here. There we go. When I come back, I'm gonna basically use the gunmetal on, as I always do, anything that looks like a weapon. In this case, a lot of cannons, and whatever looks like it would be a like window for the driver. And then of course for these are treaded tanks. I will be putting gunmetal on the treads. And then of course after that will be just touching up the sides of the base with the black. And then, you know, for all of you who've watched before, you know that after that, I take a break, I put the labels on, I come back, and I finish it up. All right, so anyway, little details are next, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. All right, I'm back, and gonna get started on some of those details like I was saying, and let's get to it. You know, I say that a lot. If I ever have the opportunity to make t-shirts for this channel, that might be one of the things I put on it. Alright, well, just don't want to put too much because then it'll drip everywhere. And I wiped off too much. Feast or famine, right? Okay. Oops. So let's get the underside of that. Alright, I'm sure some people might say, but Kev, no one can see that. Well, I can see it right now, so I'm gonna paint it. Okay, now, yeah. So this is, no, let me get the hatch. No, actually, no, not the hatch. I don't think it, oh, shoot. Alright. So, yeah, got a little bit on the, where I don't want, a little bit of paint where I don't want it. And then I wiped off the green, too. Yeah, that really worked out well. Alright, so a bit of, looks like a bit of, the window is right here in the front, so that's where I'm going to put the paint. And let's get the treads. I mean, I'm taking my time, but essentially the you know, basically what I'm doing isn't going to take long. All right. Let's hold it like that so you can actually see what I'm doing, or at least make an attempt to see what I'm doing. So I'm not entirely certain if we are doing the Battletech game. I'm not entirely certain which forces I'm going to bring out, because I am going to bring out the forces, you know, 2 of them, and it's part of the reason why we're doing Alpha Strike and not Classic, because we are going to have a lot of units out. I want to have a nice size battle, but one thing that I'm not going to do is have the game set to go as, like, you know, last unit standing, is the winner. I'm going to actually have objectives that have to be, resolved. So it will pretty much be strategic on how John and I are going to divide up our forces, because I don't think that only one of us should be attacking and one of us defending. I think we should both have excuse me. I think we should both have something to attack and something to defend, just to make it a little interesting. So, and like I said, it's going to well, like I was just said like 2 seconds ago. So it's not going to be like, whoever is wiped out first is the loser. I don't want to do it that way, because that could take a long time. Number one. And two, there's really not much strategy behind that. I'm trying to have more strategic based games. Now, one thing I am going to do is I'm going to talk to John about setting up a Patreon channel for the showcase, because I did, I did offer for him to basically on occasion, to basically come on to my Patreon, for the for Kev's Hobby Showcase, to play a game here and there, like like one of the because like lately I've been doing mostly the card game called Marvel Champions. They call it the Living Card Game, and as I always say, I still don't know why they call it that. I suspect it's because they keep adding new rules to it, but there's other card games that do the same thing. But anyway, so I don't know yet, because I want to do more with the with my Patreon, because these videos that I'm putting up on YouTube, I am also putting them up on Patreon as free content. I mean, most who have watched my videos and actually listen, because I'll be honest, even I sometimes put on, like videos and just leave it as background noise. I will admit to doing that, and I wouldn't blame anybody who does it with mine, because, well, number one, I'm getting the view, so it does help, but also sometimes you just need something in the background. Sometimes you just need that, and I don't mind being that. It doesn't mean you don't like the videos. But anyway, so yeah, like I said, I do want to have more elaborate stuff on the Patreon. Ugh, I guess the green paint wasn't fully dry. Well, that's enough for that color. We're going to get onto the black. I'm going to touch up the base, and then we're going to take another break. Anyway, so yeah, I want to get into more elaborate games. More involved games. I want to do all that, and I want to do it, in a manner that, that makes it worth it. But anyway, as I was saying, is I do have, like, all these videos that I put up on YouTube. I do have them on Patreon as free content. So, you can see them here, you can see them there. Right now my exclusive videos is is doing the Marvel Champions game. Although I do have one video where I played Star Wars, the deck building game, against my son, and he won. He won. As he usually does. He actually beats me on a whole bunch of games on a regular basis. It's actually not often that I beat him. He has incredible luck when it comes to these games. He really does. So yeah, with that game, he was the Rebel Alliance. I was the Imperials, and we set it up for you had to defeat 3 bases, and it wasn't like he didn't like I mean, we was it was close. Or as close as I could get it, because he I think we were each down 2, and then he pulled out, and then he was able to pull off the 3rd one. But anyway, that stuff is exclusive content. So I do hope that people do see entertainment value in what I do. I really do hope so. I mean, I'm not trying. I never will consider myself an influencer. That is one thing I do not want to do. I don't want to influence anybody to do anything other than enjoy themselves. Yeah, I mean, I'm not going to tell you how to vote. I'm not going to tell you how to conduct your relationships. I'm not going to lecture anybody about religion. Yeah, I'm hoping I entertain. So anyway, as you just saw, even though I was yapping away, pretty much the details that I wanted to get done is done. So I'm going to take a break and let this paint dry. I'm going to get the labels on, and then when I come back, it's basically going to be basing and the wash, and then it's all finished. All right, so stay tuned, and I will be right back. Okay, I'm back. Paint is dry, labels are on, and now it's time for basing. All right. And as with the rest of it, the rest of the force, I'm going to be doing it in snow. And just so happens to be snowing outside, so, but that's not the reason why. All right, let's get to it. Okay. Yes, it is actually. It's been snowing outside. It's supposed to snow. Well, actually, it looks like it may have stopped, but it's supposed to snow all day today, and it's supposed to snow again tomorrow. So, Lord only knows what it's going to look like for Monday morning. All right, so I know a couple of weeks ago when I did hover tanks, wasn't really able to get underneath, so I'm able to get a little bit underneath with this one. All right. There we go. Needed it where I actually want it. All right. And as always, when I say when I'm doing this, I'm going to keep saying it. Just because you're making the base look to it like a certain terrain doesn't mean that's the only terrain. Oops. Doesn't mean that's the only terrain type you could use it on. Now I'm talking about whether you're using it, whether you're playing in Alpha Strike mode, or whether you're playing the Classic, because Classic you're going to be using maps, and the maps are going to look like a specific terrain. You know, just grasslands, all that other stuff. And when you actually buy terrain, it's usually in a specific type. I tend to get usually either grassland or desert. I don't really have like a used to call them war boards. I don't have a board in the snow terrain. And honestly, the place that I used the website that I used to get them from isn't around anymore. There used to be this website called Warzone where they had all these different types of terrain, configurations, this and that. It was a really good site. But unfortunately, I guess they went out of business. I do have, I still have the few things that I bought from them, because I didn't always have money for it. Life gets in the way. Sometimes things need to take priority. And yes, I wasn't able to get as much of the terrain as I wanted. And then when I went to go back to it, and I realized I didn't even know they were out of business, and I was like so disappointed. However, there is a site, I do not remember the name of it, but I have it saved in. It's either saved in Google Chrome, or I think it's saved in Google Chrome. There is a site where they are basically doing like 3D terrain but in hex, so this way you can play with actual terrain. You can play with actual terrain on a hex map, and you can make it like 3D. It's like 3D terrain on it for a hex map, and it's got some really good stuff for it. Eventually, I will be able to invest in that and get some of that stuff, but for the moment, it is not possible. I'll tell you this though, for those of you who do watch and you watch me play the games, you're gonna like it when I'm able to afford it, because it's gonna look really cool. Alright. And as always, as I say with the wash, it sinks into all those little nooks and crannies, and it really makes the features stand out.
boy, does it. It really does look good. I will always do this, especially with these pieces. Especially with how detailed Catalyst Labs has made them, like especially recently. I mean, it's pretty incredible. I really do like what they're doing with the game. I just wish they didn't make the Ironwind Metal stuff so freaking expensive. So if you guys are listening, maybe drop the price on them if you can. Those of us who play the game would greatly appreciate it. A public service announcement from Kevin Allen. Anyway, as I was yapping, I finished what I was doing. Alright, so let's get these on here ready.
Okay, so here we go. A nice lance of tanks for the Eridani Light Horse, ready to deploy. Okay, that's what I got for today. Thank you so much for watching. I hope you've enjoyed this little series for the Eridani Light Force Mercenary Company. Light Horse, not Light Force. Light Horse Mercenary Company for the game Battletech. As always, I do enjoy the I do enjoy painting these minis. I find it very relaxing. I hope you do too, and I hope you've been enjoying it. And that's it for today. All right. So anyway, please like, subscribe, and share share this video as much as possible. Just remember, for anybody who you think might enjoy it, you can always remind them that a YouTube subscription costs $0, and it really helps to support me. It helps to support the channel. It helps me get just that much closer to that YouTube goal of monetization. I do have 58 subscribers currently. I'm trying to reach 75. It's my current goal. Once I reach it, of course, I will set a new one, probably 100. Please go to Tabletop Jones Production. Please do the same there. Like, subscribe, and share, because we're at 31 subscribers there currently. We'd like to get to 50 so we can live stream games. Heck, might even be a Battletech game one day that we live stream. Who knows? All right. So anyway, once again, thank you for watching. I hope you had a great time. Hope you had a great time. I hope I entertained. Sorry, my congestion is coming back. And you take care of yourselves, and I will see you again.